Alright guys, I'm pretty sure everybody knows what this is right here. See, Benchmade Freek in M4. This is Kurt's knife. Thank you, Kurt, for letting me test it. You notice there is some wear on it. It did come to me that way. This did originally belong to BJ, and he had tested it. So it was nice to have some other results to compare what I came up with to also. This did have 4 edges on it already by the time it came to me. And we'll talk about how many times I did test it and just how many edges I did end up putting on it. Figured a good comparison would be the Spyderco M4. I've already run this a couple times. Went ahead and ran it a couple more just to have comparison points to it. Run it at the same time as the other M4. This is my own knife. So we're going to go ahead and watch the cutting on both of these, and then we'll come back and talk about what I found and just how many times I did end up sharpening this Benchmade Freek. Alright, go ahead and get the easy one out of the way first. Spyderco M4. I had previously run this, and the best result of what I got last time was 191 feet fine edge, 335 feet working edge. So I went ahead and ran it again, and for my first test I got 193 feet fine edge, 337 feet working edge. And once again, guys, these are all sharpened the same way, stropped the same way as every other test. Nothing different whatsoever. For my second run, to verify this one again, even though I'd previously tested and verified, 191 feet fine edge and 334 feet working edge. Absolutely backs its numbers up. The first two tests were run on, I believe, edge 5 and 6. I had used it in the meantime since then for a couple edges, so probably around 10 edges in on this now. Same numbers as before, same performance. I have no problems with this whatsoever. Now, this M4. Like I said, this was BJ's previously, and he sold it to Kurt. I don't remember if he ever published the results or not, but he did end up finding them and sending them to me. And the results he got, I don't have the information anymore. I've bought a new phone since then, and I can ask him again and put it in the description, but I do believe it was about 165 feet fine edge and 280 feet working edge, 290 feet working edge, which to me seems a little off. Now, when I got this, it was dull. I went ahead and sharpened it, and I'd asked BJ how many edges had been put on this prior to Kurt getting it, and he told me 4. So I knew that I was on number 5, and I went to test it right away, and it was pretty bad. I didn't make it to 150 feet, and the edge had all kinds of visible damage. You didn't need to magnify it to see it. You could feel it. You could tell it was hanging up on the cardboard in certain spots. So I proceeded to sharpen it and start just using it. And this was over Christmas break. I was doing work for one of my buddies, so I had the chance to keep track what I was actually cutting with it. And sure enough, by about 100 feet, if even 100 feet, I could see visible damage. I ended up resharpening this and trying to use it a few times before I went ahead and tested it to see what I would get. And that was on the 10th edge. On the 10th edge, it was still pretty bad. Sharpened it again. Figured I was going to record the results, good, bad, or otherwise at this point. So on the 11th edge, which is the first test that I actually recorded all the results of, 101 feet fine edge and 143 feet working edge. Now, we know that's low for M4. So I went ahead and sharpened it again. Everything the same. This would be edge number 12. Tested it. 182 feet fine edge, 215 feet working edge. So now I felt like we were getting somewhere. Edge number 13. Sharpened the same way, stropped the same way. Never changed the angle on this or anything. 179 feet fine edge, 328 feet working edge. And we'll talk about this in a minute. I still had to verify it. Edge number 14, 182 feet fine edge, 334 feet working edge. And just to make sure nothing crazy was going on, one more time, edge 15, fifth test that I recorded, 185 feet fine edge, 335 feet working edge. It's now wearing edge 16. It's good to go. It's going to be going back to Kurt this week. I thought about it a lot. I talked with a few people about it. And I don't have the equipment to test this to know for absolute positive that that's what's going on. But could it possibly be secondary edge hardening? I suppose it's possible without actually testing it, though. The entire way through the process, there's no way to know. Was it overheated? I would say it was definitely overheated. The results BJ got were low for M4 to begin with, and it kind of went downhill from there. Even the results BJ got that he backed up were also low. Also, you can see how many edges it took to get past that steel to get into something good. This is the worst case I've seen of something being overheated like that. I've done a couple other ones, but usually by 5 or 6 edges, they're doing good and it's verifiable. This took 14 edges before it verified what it was previously capable of. And I can't remember if I took pictures or not. I'll have to go back and look, but I mean, we're talking visible edge damage that you didn't need any kind of magnification to see. You could see the microchipping. I wouldn't even call it microchipping. It was chipping. And you could see some spots where the apex was actually rolling over. So how much steel did I actually remove from this? I can't exactly say. I did compare the blade shape to my S30V Freek, and it's not a sizable difference. It does show you, though, that sometimes the overheating can be pretty bad. I mean, at this point, that's what I'm going to call it. You know, that's what I was able to observe. Like I said, there is some information out there on secondary edge hardening. But like I said, I don't have the means to test that, and I've already got that steel off of here, so it's not even something that could be checked at this point. Either way. I am happy to see, though, that it did end up where you would think M4, and I believe this was also 63 HRC. I know it has been tested. That's about where 63 HRC M4 should be. And if I had to guess, I would say this one is probably around 63 as well. seeing as the performance is the same as the Benchmade M4. That's all I found. If you guys have some other suggestions, I'm open to hearing them. But like I said, this one definitely took the most work to be able to get repeatable results. And I'm glad it worked out in the end, and it's going to go back to Kurt with a good edge on it that's actually going to do what it's supposed to do. So that's all I have for this video about M4. Any questions, comments, anything, like always, drop them down below. As always, I appreciate your time, and thanks for watching.